Hi guys, it's Dan here, and today I just wanted to create a quick video to show you through the blog comments SOP that we've set up for you guys. So basically just showing you how to kind of carry out niche relevant, niche specific blog comments for your site or for the sites that we would like you to obviously build them to. So for sake of this video, as you can see, we're building blog comments today to this FatRank URL, which is all about kind of entering entrepreneurship and kind of about apprenticeships and all that kind of stuff. So for the sake of the video, we'll focus it on apprenticeships because obviously that's one of the keywords, one of the key phrases that we're looking to target for this URL. And with them being really specific, it means that we can kind of get backlinks to this URL that, whilst they're not so powerful, they actually do offer a lot in terms of in terms of relevancy and in terms of potential referral traffic as well for people who are clicking onto the blogs that we get blog comments on, and hopefully then kind of seeing our comment and clicking through to us and seeing what we're about. So I guess we'll start off with the SOP itself. And as you can see, that starts off by saying to head over to google.co.uk and use the search strings to find potential URLs for the blog comments. So essentially what this step is using search strings such as these here, these four that I've included. And what they do is they pull in URLs, potential blogs that have used the keywords that we're looking to get blog comments on. So if I highlight the top one here, for example, which is, so you could enter this into Google, for example, which is in URL, and then your keyword. So that might be, in this case, apprenticeships or entrepreneurships. But if we're doing another one, say it was about, I don't know, about baby prams, for example, then you'd have baby prams in there. Or say it was about sofas, you'd have sofas, something that's really related to whatever your keyword is. So in this case, we maybe do apprenticeships, and then it's a space, and then the quotation marks comment love. And comment love, what that is basically it's the system behind blogs that kind of allows people to comment on them. So by putting in comment love, it shows blogs that obviously accept blog comments, essentially. So it kind of gives you a better prospecting list, a more accurate prospecting list, really. So for the sake of the video, we'll go onto Google here, and we're going to search this one here, which is in URL apprenticeship. So obviously that's basically pulling in blogs that within the URL has the word apprenticeship, which, as you can see, is one of our targeted keywords for the blog. And then a space, comment love, so obviously bringing in blogs that allow blog comments, essentially, is what that search string will do. But before I search it, obviously, I'll just show you some other ones that you could do. You could possibly do something like in title, your keyword here. So obviously that would bring in blogs that have your keyword in the actual title of the post as opposed to into the URL. And then obviously you've got space submit comment. So similar to comment love, it's basically pulling in blogs that allow you to actually post a comment on that blog, as opposed to, just if you just did in title your keyword, you might find articles that are super relevant to whatever you're trying to get links to. However, they don't give you the option to post the comment. So obviously the submit comment and the comment love, etc. on these search strings are really important. And I'm going to add more of these search strings into the SOPs for you guys to use later down the road. So anyway, we'll search for now. We'll search the in URL apprenticeship and then comment love. Search that search string in. And as you can see, it's pulling in relevant blogs all about apprenticeships, all about, becoming an apprenticeship, is it right for your teenager, etc., or really hyper-relevant URLs and potential blogs, really, that we can then comment on and get these links to. So I've actually already done the top one. I did that in my SOP, so I'm going to use the second one as the example here. I'm going to click on that, and basically what I'm going to look for is I'm just going to make sure, because obviously some titles can be misleading and you don't know whether they're actually going to be really relevant to your blog. I'm just going to go through this and make sure it is about apprenticeships and is about the kind of keyword that we're looking for. So obviously going down, and the title there kind of says it all, earn while learning, which is perfect. Consider a model of apprenticeship. So as you can see, it's talking about the ability to earn whilst you're learning, which is what an apprenticeship is. It's talking all about the model of an apprenticeship and what that means, etc. So realistically, this is exactly what we want. It's hyper relevant. It's hyper specific to the type of article which is here that we're trying to get the blog comment on. So what I'll do now that I've realized it's really relevant, I'll scroll down. I kind of skim read all of this, just kind of make sure I know what it's about, and kind of from the title alone, I can understand that it's talking about employment rates. It's talking about university as an option, apprenticeships as an option, what young people should do. So I kind of have an idea here of what this article is about and what kind of it's offering as an article. Then as I scroll down, I notice this leave a reply box. So basically what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take you through the rest of the SOP and what you do when you reach this point. Because obviously step 2, if I go down here, is basically what I've just gone through. It's clicking onto the blog, seeing if it's relevant and has a comment section, which we've obviously both checked that it does have both of those things, and that the blog is super relevant to the apprenticeships, which in this case it is, so it's perfect. So I found all that out. I've done all that information, done all that research. I found the blog. This is perfect. It's got the place that I want to comment on. Now to the bit where you're actually commenting on it. So what I've done here in step 3 is I've ran through what to do at this stage. So essentially what you want to do is make sure that, basically for these terms, for these sections here, you want to fill them out in the right way possible. So for the name section, this can be pretty much anything you want it to be from a random name. So say you wanted to do Samantha Smith, which is obviously a made-up name, you can add that in. Or you could add in the name of a brand, which in this case for my website is FatRank, so I can add in FatRank there. And it can literally be anything, really, as long as it's not, completely away from what you're talking about. I'd probably stay to do things such as fake names or random name generators, as well as, your actual brand, which in this case is FatRank. But I might want to choose to do that FatRank with a space. I might want to choose to do that FatRank UK. There's many different ways you can enter in the name. Just try and vary as much as you can from the brand to, like a made-up name type of thing is perfect. But for this example, I'm just going to do FatRank. For your email, you want to enter in your personal email. So in this sense, I'm going to enter in mine there. But obviously, for your case, just enter in your own email or whichever email you want to. The emails don't actually get shown on the blog. As you can see here, it says your email address will not be published. So that bit really doesn't matter. It's just to kind of verify that you're an actual person is what the main reason of that is. Website, this is very important. So with the website, you really want to make sure that you're not linking to anything other than the target URL that you've been specified to link to. So as I've said throughout this video, in this case, it's this URL here. So we're just going to get that URL. I'm going to pop it in there, and it's that simple. So it's making sure that you're linking to the correct URL. In this case, obviously, we've got the entrepreneur apprenticeship, type URL, which is perfect for the blog that we're trying to get it on. So you just add that in, and then that's absolutely fine. And then the actual comment. So this is probably not the most difficult bit, but the most thought-provoking part of the whole thing with blog comments. And what I've added down here is I've just basically said I'd recommend writing something not too promotional and something that adds value to the article you're commenting on. So it's key that you make it seem like you've read the article you're commenting on. So try and mention certain parts of the article that you didn't like or you do like, and kind of give reasons behind that. So again, it doesn't really take too much time. It's again just kind of going through the article and seeing possibly statistics that they've mentioned, or just finding bits of a paragraph that you're interested in. So as you can see here, they're talking about kind of student loans. They're talking about the price of student loans. And I'm kind of thinking in my head, obviously with an apprenticeship, you don't really have that burden on you. You can go into an apprenticeship, you can get learning early. You don't have to worry about the costs of being a student and the loans that come with that. So that's pretty much what I'm going to base my whole comment on is that. So as you can see, I'm just kind of adding in that copy now. It's nothing particularly promotional. It's nothing really to do with anything to do with my site or kind of our products or anything like that. It's just running through what they've said during their, within their article really, and kind of talking about the pros and cons of it and just kind of comparing stuff with that and kind of being really impartial. It's not, like I said, it's not to do with us as a company. It's more to do with their article and what they've said. And then you could just say something to do with just their content in general. So say like, keep up the great content. Always nice to see this topic discussed in such depth. Something like that is absolutely fine. So you've added enough. It's not like you're jumping in and just saying, great read, ! Or I like apprenticeships, or something very, very basic. It's kind of offering your own opinion to the article that currently exists and showing that you are a real person and that you actually care about what they wrote. Because firstly, you've got so much more of a chance of the comment being accepted. And secondly, you just look more legitimate. You don't look like you're doing it for a link, even though that's exactly what we're doing. But that's past the point. So anyway, once that's all done and you've added your content in and you're happy with it, you just hit post comment at the bottom. Obviously making sure that everything else is ticked in. Post comment there. And then that's pretty much it, guys, really. I mean, the last steps on the whole SOP, really, just kind of making sure that your link has actually been placed on the blog. So what this process means is just kind of refreshing the blog after you've posted the comment and scrolling down, making sure you've got your comment on there and you can clearly see that it links back to your site and everything works fine. The key with that, obviously, is making sure that the link is there and the comment is there. I mean, if the comment hasn't worked, then obviously move on to the next blog because that one doesn't work for whatever reason. And if your URL to your site doesn't work, then the key really with that is to make sure to go back in and actually have a look if you can get your URL in your comment as opposed to in the website section. Because some of these blogs, they will offer a website section like the one I just showed you did, which is fantastic. Obviously, you can just drop the website in and it'll work perfectly. In other cases where there isn't a website section, it's always worth trying the comment, trying to get the URL in that comment. And then obviously, if that doesn't work from that point, then that blog is, you're not able to get a comment on that blog. But sometimes the URL that you can acquire is actually in the comment as opposed to in the website section of what you're commenting on. So that's really it. And then, once you've got your blog comments and you're picking them up, it's key to make sure that you're organized and you're saving them in an Excel sheet. So make sure you've saved all of your blog comments in an Excel sheet, obviously with the status of them, whether it says a successful link or an unsuccessful link. And then there's sometimes also where the comment that you actually post doesn't get posted to the blog automatically. It takes the blog owner's approval for that to actually be posted. So in those senses, all you need to really be doing is putting the URL in your Excel sheet and maybe just write a waiting link or something along those lines, as I've mentioned there in the SOP, just to make sure that obviously you can then check back on that in however many days' time to make sure they have approved it or they haven't, and kind of just stay on top of the ones that you've commented on. So that's it really, guys. That's the SOP for blog commenting. I hope you found this useful. Thank you, and I'll see you guys later.